Hello, my name is Rob Edwards. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we are talking news. Not something I do generally on this channel. I don't really know what my channel is, if I'm honest. I've done a lot of weird stuff recently, including some creative writing lessons for my nieces, D&D on Roll20, and Doctor Who reviews all happened this year. So, it's a bit all over the place. But generally speaking, it's a place I want to go to record stuff about the things that I like. And I like comic book movies. I like comic books. And in particular, I am, yes, a DC fanboy. Since the very first comics I read, I have been more about DC than Marvel. Which is not to say I am of the opinion that I have to be one camp or the other. I like a lot of Marvel. I like a lot of Marvel movies. I think generally the Marvel movies have been better than the DC movies. Controversial, perhaps? No. I am probably more forgiving of DC movies than most reviewers and commentators. Was the Suicide Squad a good movie? No. Was the editing completely shot? Was it a complete mess? Yes. Was the Enchantress kind of embarrassing? Yes. Did I enjoy the movie? I kind of did, actually. I had quite fun with it. Was the most recent Birds of Prey movie the Birds of Prey movie that I really, really wanted to see? Absolutely not. But did I enjoy it? Despite myself, maybe I did, actually. I'm certainly looking forward to a chance to watch it again. So, yes, I forgive DC its trespasses, as it trespasses all over the place. So, this week's news, a double whammy really for DC cinematic stuff, that the Justice League Snyder Cut is going to be seen in one form or another on HBO Max next year, and that Henry Cavill is going to be returning to the role of Superman. I should be excited, maybe. I don't know. Should I be excited? Because I'm kind of not. And in this video, I want to talk why that might be. The reason I'm a little hesitant about the news for the Snyder Cut of Justice League is actually all bundled up with Henry Cavill and his Superman. So let me deal with the second thing first. Let me talk about Henry Cavill. What do I think of Henry Cavill as Superman? I think he looks the part. I think he looks fantastic. I'm not, 100% sold on the uniform, but generally speaking, he looks fantastic. I think that the Superman we got by the end of Justice League was a Superman I could get behind. If you kind of ignore the top lip of Cavill and his CGI no mustache thing for Justice League, I thought the Superman that we got in Justice League was something I could get behind, something I could actually quite enjoy. He was a lot lighter, a lot happier, a lot friendlier, and he was very much the Superman that I think of when I think of Superman. And I am totally here for more of that version of Superman. But you see, there's the problem. Because the version of Superman that we started with in Man of Steel, I absolutely detest. As I say, I'm a big DC fan. I'm a big superhero movie fan. I have never managed to get through Man of Steel twice. I watched it once, wasn't a big fan of it. I mean, there were bits in it I enjoyed and bits in it which were done quite well, but generally speaking, I did not enjoy Man of Steel. I've gone back and trying to give it a second and third and fourth chance, I think, and I've never made it to the end on further rewatches, because the deconstruction of Superman, the sort of turning him around and looking at him from a different angle, I'm sure there is value in such things, but to the point of having the character be unrecognisable, I'm not for that. I'm not about that. The concept of Superman is so strong for me. It is about this being who's so far beyond the normal human experience, and yet at the same time so grounded by his life with the Kents in Smallville, in Kansas, that he has this kind of humble, hopeful, caring attitude towards the people around him. And to see Pa Kent in Man of Steel saying things like, you should have let those people drown on the bus because your secret isn't worth, the risk of revealing your secret isn't worth the lives of those other kids on that school bus. I mean, no, that's not Pa Kent, it's not Superman, and I'm not here for it. And, the whole snapping of Zod's neck at the end of Man of Steel, kind of controversial. I think it could have been justified. There is I've not read it, but I gather that in one of, I think, John Byrne's run on Superman back in the day, that in a parallel Earth, Superman does exactly that. He snaps Zod's neck to stop him. But that was as a reaction to Zod basically wiping out the entire of the human race in that parallel Earth. And we just don't get that same justification in Man of Steel. The snapping of Zod's neck, I don't think they justify it enough. Given the amount of destruction that we see Superman and Zod and the other Dark Kryptonians lay waste to Smallville and to Metropolis, I don't get that this moment with the heat vision going off was the moment where Clark realizes he has no other choice. And the ending of Man of Steel with his kind of weird ultimatum to the military, none of it rang true. None of it rang true to the character that I was expecting to see. And I get that there is value in creating an arc for your character. I mean, that is character, really, in story. But I don't know that we've seen a great deal of growth from Henry Cavill's Superman in Man of Steel. And I don't think BVS goes any further down that path. We see his attitude to saving humans really being, it looks like it's a chore to him. It looks like he regrets almost every heroic deed he does. And that's not Superman. And then we have the whole, his adoptive mother Martha Kent going, you don't owe these people anything. And again, that's just not Superman. Now, how much of this is Cavill's fault? Actually, very little, of course. It all comes from the script. It all comes from the direction. The performance that Cavill gives, it's fine. I mean, it's not stellar, but it's fine. I think Cavill is actually better in both the Mission Impossible movie and The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I thought Cavill in both of those films was a more impressive performance. I actually think Cavill in Justice League provides a better performance as well. So this is why Cavill's return gives me pause. Because if we are continuing the Cavill arc that we saw up to the end of the Justice League movie that we got, then I think there's room for hope there. There's room for the possibility that we can get a Henry Cavill and a Superman that I can totally enjoy. But then we have to add in the whole Snyder cut thing. Because I lay pretty much everything I dislike about Man of Steel and about BVS at the feet of Zack Snyder. And the fact that there is this whole big resurgence that we should release the Snyder cut and we should see what he wanted to do, it doesn't fill me with a great deal of hope, because Snyder's version of Superman, of the DC universe, is not a DC universe which is full of hope. It's the same problem that DC has had in the comics quite recently with all of the New 52, essentially. And Rebirth went some way towards bringing back the hope into that. But I think even that, they've muddied the waters since that wonderful Rebirth issue 1. So, okay, let's talk about Justice League. I know this video has gone longer than I intended, but never mind. Let's talk about Justice League quickly. The version of Justice League that we got was not awful. Again, it suffered from really bad editing. And given all the behind-the-scenes stuff, it was a better movie than it deserved to be. And yes, there are some problems with it. And yes, going back and looking at it again with a more critical eye, there are things which I probably think are Joss Whedon marks, which probably I kind of regret that we actually got in there. But I think on the whole, I don't know. I mean, on one level, I want to see the Snyder Cut because there is more to see. We get to see, presumably, more of Barry Allen's background, because I know they filmed scenes with Iris West, who did not appear in the movie at all when it came out. I know there are scenes that we got filmed with more of Commissioner Gordon, and we only got a fleeting glimpse of him in the theatrical version of Justice League. And I am all for seeing more of these characters, expanding the canvas of Justice League, maybe seeing some other heroes cameo. These are all things that I could get really behind if it wasn't Zack Snyder bringing them. Because I just don't like Zack Snyder's version of the DC Universe. Now, that doesn't mean I won't watch the Snyder Cut. If it's available here in Finland, I definitely will. But I'm not holding out a great hope that it's going to give us the Justice League movie that I want. We may get a version of Justice League which is more coherent. We may get a more interesting bad guy than Steppenwolf. We may get more interesting setup for future stuff. But then, is that future stuff going to happen? And if it does, how do I feel about that? I am basically all over the place with this one. So there we go. That's my take on this news. I am going to watch all of this stuff because I am a DC fan and I want to support their movies. But I will not go in there expecting the movies that I want to see from these characters. And that's kind of a shame. Anyway, thanks for watching. You know the drill. Stuff, buttons, things. Bye.